Okay, looks like we're live. Well, let's kick this pig. How about that? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the one and only vape show that starts on time, every time. These poor folks that just can't uh, handle starting on time. I don't understand it at all because it ain't like they got a full-time job. Let's see. Let me get my chat situated here. There we go. And there's Andrew and Digital Gold and Adrian. Everybody's here. Let me get my little cheat sheet out here. I think we're all ready to go now. How about that? How are all y'all doing today? I kind of I really didn't take the day off. I went out and worked on some rings this morning. I've been working on my house. I overdid it yesterday. And so today I decided to I had some rings I had to make or a custom order. And we worked on those this morning didn't have a whole lot of time to go outside and work on the house anyhow. I've been repairing and repainting the fascia boards. That's what I've been doing. The sun out here does a job on those, and you got to do a little upkeep to them every 4 or 5 years. Of course, I built way too big a house. Bad thing. It's what happens when you overdo shit. I go too far. I mean, there's me and my wife. That's it. We really didn't need a 2,000 square foot house, but we got our coffee. We got our RY4 and our K-Fun X. And we're still rocking this little Aries 2 with that, whatever the hell name of that wire I made is. I don't know. Some people call it tiger wire. I don't know. But I know it fits this Aries 2 really well. So we're still rocking it too. Yeah, Andrew, man, I don't know if rabbit hole's not the term. Uh, Carried away, I guess, is the term. Um, some people say it's OCD. I don't really go for that, if you're gonna do something, do it right. It's like, oh, you're too much of a perfectionist. Well, there's perfect, and then there's right, and then there's wrong. You know. I don't know how many arguments I had with people when I was building my house. Um, the first one I ran across was when I was putting I used copper tubing, copper pipe under the slab. My house is on a concrete slab. Okay. So when I was I went to go get me some copper pipe tubing. I call it tubing when it's in a roll and it's soft. I call it tubing. But anyhow, I had researched it. I knew what I wanted, and I went up to town to get some. We don't have any like that. Why not? Well, it's too expensive because the wall thickness is real thick, and it's not required around here for code. You can get by with a thinner copper Well, I don't really want thinner copper, you know. So anyhow, they finally ordered me some. Had to get it out of Colorado because it's cold up there. Shit freezes up there. Need thicker shit up there, you know. So anyhow, that was, and it was just one thing after another, the whole 9 yards. Everybody, all they wanted to sell me. Of course, I was doing all the work myself, and but all the that you could find easily locally was whatever the bare minimum was to meet code. Well, code is bare minimum. Well, I don't want a bare minimum house, thank you. But so yeah, had that the whole way through. Encountered that the whole way through. I did order a couple of deals this morning because my Outreach 2 it's history. God knows where it's at. And there's Mick. How you doing, Mick? Good morning to you, brother. But I finally convinced 3F to, they gave me a store credit, which was fine. Because now I know how to navigate their order system for my situation. I can't really blame them completely, even though they did leave a little bit off the address. But that was, a link, a weak link, and then there's other weak links up here at my post office. So, yeah, okay, we'll just, so, like I say, my choice now is to order from I can't order stuff from their bonded warehouse because they won't accept a PO address to ship it to, because that's how I get some of the weak links out of the equation. Because it's real easy. PO a number. That's it. That's it. PO a number. PO box and a number. So, they can't really screw that up too bad. Could be done, but it's safer. And the idiots at my post office seem to be able to get shit into my PO box. They seem to be able to look at the deal, see the number, and put it in the right number box, and just leave it the hell alone. Okay, I don't come up there. If I don't show up in 3 or 4 days, they leave it the hell alone. They don't go rummage through people's boxes and start sending shit back for no ungodly reason. So anyhow, they gave me a store credit, which was fine. And I ordered one of the newer, of course it's a clone. I ordered one of the newer dwarfs, one of the clones, because I noticed if you pick through them, you could find some that had all kinds of stuff with them, So I ordered a 24 millimeter one and it comes with 2 tanks, a large and a small, 3 and a 6, I think. Said probably be a 5, but it said 6, but we'll see. But what really caught my eye was the 11 air pins that come with. And that was what really caught my eye. And it's just amazing that, they would throw that many in on a clone, but they definitely did. So anyhow, we ordered one of those. It was like, I think about $19. And I'm sure it'll probably, unless it's totally screwed, unless they totally screwed it up, cloning it, it'll vape at least as good or better than my not original, but my old style dwarf, in which vapes fine. And then I ordered, and it's a pre-order, that new Innova. Is that what you pronounce it? Let me check. I think it's Innova RTA. Let's look right quick. Yeah, of course it's clone. It was 19 bucks, 18.99, and the dwarf was 19.99. So dwarf was 20 bucks. And they call it the MTL version. I guess maybe the chimney's not too big because they give you every hairpin there is, from direct long to tight MTL. So I guess maybe the chimney makes it the MTL version. But yeah, the new Innova RTA. Well, thank you, Andrew. I got to get me some new ones. These are getting a little, I hate wearing the same ones every time, but, you know, when you make a whole slew of review videos and a live every week, I mean, you know, you start having to wear the shirt 2 or 3 times. Unless you're going to go out and buy a new one every week, you know. We ain't doing that. The Infernal Machine. I don't know what that Adrian is referencing there. But anyhow, now the Innova, that's a little bit of a gamble. Because after I watched a couple of reviews on it, it looks the machining is quite extensive. The design, you might say, and sometimes on clones, the more complicated something is, the higher probability they might screw up on it. But they didn't on that Stigmata, and if they didn't screw up on that, shit. You know, I don't see how they could screw up on anything if you didn't screw up on that damn thing, because that was some intricate shit. But it was a pre-order. It won't be. It's not supposed to be in. They're not supposed to get them for a couple of weeks, not a month. But I think August 16th, I believe. So a couple of weeks. But my Albridge 2 is lost in the USPS return system. It is disappeared into the black hole and will not be seen again. Oh, I see what you're saying, Adrian. I haven't seen that one. I have not seen that one. Closest I come to that one would be, and it's not even close to much. It's, what was the name of it? The Stephen King movie. Oh shit, I forget the name of it. Had Kathy Bates in it, and James Caan, I want to say. Forget who starred in it. No, at the moment, Mick, I'm not. Yeah, mine has vanished, disappeared off into a black hole, and you know nothing escapes a black hole. So we moved on. We have moved on. Now I did find a couple of spots. I don't remember now exactly where it was, but I did go to the trouble of it was whatever site only takes PayPal. There's one of them out there. SourceMore, Shareovate, something. There's one of those out there that only takes PayPal. And I didn't really want to get involved with that again, but I did redo my PayPal account and fixed everything on it to where the only address that it knows and that it will reference is my PO box. So just in case, because I've run into that trouble before, but they took my they were happy with the PO address. So if I have to, I can use my PayPal account again if I need to. Yeah, I mean, I've yet to get one that outperforms this KFun X for MTL. You know, if a man was smart, which we're not, he could buy four of these, set them on the shelf, and wouldn't buy goddamn nothing else the rest of his life. Nurse Josh, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could drop by today. Yeah, mine got hacked not too long ago, but at the time they tried, some idiots in California were trying to buy movie tickets with it. And I had it locked anyhow. I had already locked it months previous to that. And so it was no way in hell it was going to work, and because it was locked. And but once it got hacked, I made them change the number, send me a new one, and I've yet to use it, my real credit card. I've yet to use it so far since I got the new one. But even it is, I activated it and locked it, and if I need it, I can unlock it from my phone or my computer almost instantly. So just leave it locked. Yeah, Josh, I wished I'd have known here a while back when you did your little live thing. I wished I'd have known so I could have participated. But yeah, I didn't get any kind of notification or anything. Otherwise, I'd have been there. Yeah, Adrian, AliExpress. Trying to remember, what did they have? Of course, they're clones, but they had very little selection. They had a few, but very little selection. I did look at them. And in fact, I think one of the deals they actually did have, well, they had a lot of KFun clones, if I remember right. Seemed like they had I don't know, more famous clones, you might say. Still miss Fast Tech. I still miss Fast Tech. Yeah, Josh, you're gonna have to give us a little more warning, man. Just come on here and tell us a week ahead of time or something. Yeah, see, I yeah, I don't get notified on stuff like that. So I didn't even know nothing about the poll. I saw it once I saw it, but yeah, I didn't know. I didn't get any kind of notification. You know how YouTube is. But yeah, next time you want to do it, you plan ahead. If you plan ahead any at all, just hop on here and tell us uh, you're going to have a live. And like I say, I was telling you in the comments. If you notice my little, I guess you got the little your the thumbnail for this live should have popped up in your YouTube feed, but that's a deal you got to do. You want to do it a day or two ahead of time, and you got to do it from, as far as I know, you got to do it from a PC. You can't do it from your phone, because to get the little thumbnail thing to pop up saying you're going to have a live later, in the week or whatever, you get on your PC and you tell it, and it's hard. It's not easy, because there is no original click for that. You got to tell it you're going to go live. You click on go live, then screen will pop up and it'll say man or schedule live or schedule something up here in the right hand top corner, and you click that, and then it'll get you to the screens. You can just fill in the blank, and it'll create the thumbnail for you and put it up there. Yeah, Adrian, I watched most of his. I didn't watch it live because I didn't. There again, I didn't know nothing about it. Uh, I did watch the replay. Nurse Mongo, how you doing, buddy? What temperature is it there, Mongo? The humidity is what's killing you. I can tell you that. I know that for a fact. Let's see what it is out here. We actually had a cool spell come through. It's only 94 right now. Yeah, we had a little cool spell today. It's not even supposed to get to 100. It's supposed to get to 97. A few clouds is the reason why. A few clouds. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 104. So we're back in the hundreds after today. We got a cool spell today. Yeah, I know the humidity's killer down there. Now, Mick, you know we don't know what the hell that means. You know we're over here in the U.S. We're still stubborn, and we refuse to go to Celsius. Yeah, we refuse. We're still fighting the metric system. Just as hard as we can, even though we're basically halfway there, because a whole slew of shit, everyday stuff is in metric terms, but they just won't give up on the Celsius and Fahrenheit. There's NorCal. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping by. 53, my God, that's wintertime. Yeah, I'd have to have a coat. But it is winter down there, right? In Australia, I think. Yeah, because it's tilt of the earth. Yeah, it is y'all's winter. So, yeah, I know that feeling, NorCal. All the damn, all the shit starts looking the same. The, the wire colors start looking the same, and you just gotta step back a minute, have a go outside and have a vape. Oh, I used to hate working on RVs, Mongo. I would refuse if there was any way I could refuse and not get fired. Yeah, I hated RVs with a passion. Back when I used to work on cars and whatnot. Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the downfalls of owning your own business. I don't know if you specialize in RVs, and there's money in it. There's because there's not that many people that will work on them. So I mean, there is money in it, but oh, I hate it. I hated working on it. Just hated it. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea, Josh. You can. I noticed Wayne had a deal the other day about. I don't know why he thought he needed to turn it into a multi-part series, but he was, mixing juice for pods, and you know, he says it's going to be a multi-part series, but I mean, I saw no reason why it should have been, but it's his channel, so hell, I mix my stuff so strong, flavor wise. Plus, well, I go so high Nick that I have to bump up the flavor. Uh, so my shit works in a pod the way I mix it. So, you know, I, nothing new to me, you know, but I mean, because I mix all my shit extra strong anyhow. Oh. All right, Mick. Thanks for coming by, brother. It's like he was saying, I mean, you gotta you gotta up the nicotine and you gotta up the flavoring just because you're upping the nicotine, let alone because it's a smaller coil, smaller device, less vapor and all that good stuff. You got to up it the flavoring on that side for that too. But my main deal is I have to up it because of the high nick level I use. So the way I mix my shit normally, I mean it'll work in a pod no problem. The trouble I have is when I try to direct lung it. you know, you direct long some 20 or 24, it don't take much. It goes a long way. Well, Mongo, you can make a killing out here, buddy, because These people broke down on the interstate all the time, all the time. And I don't understand their reasoning or their logic, but it's like, let's buy an RV and immediately go to the desert. Let's go to the worst place in the world for our vehicle. You know, let's go there first. But that and the semi trucks, oh shit, you make a killing out here, man. There's a little place up the road that opened they built a big old shop and opened up. And yeah, they're like, and they're independent. They're not, a big company or nothing. But it's a huge shop. And I guess it's probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 bays. And well, they're like 2 weeks behind. They stay 2 weeks behind, you know. Yeah, I'd have to chain vape some six if I MTL. Hell, I'd have to chain vape six regardless. I think even if I was direct lunging it for a six, I think I'd have to chain vape that. But yeah, you can make a killing out here. They're, a good, especially if you can work on the semis, the big diesel trucks. Oh shit. Yeah, NorCal, it's only 95 here, and it's not supposed to get over 100 today. So we got a few clouds, and it's keeping the temperature nice. And you know, when you're used to 115, 97 feels damn good. You know, it's all what you get used to. You know. It was like yesterday. I worked outside on my house till 3 o'clock in the afternoon because there was a few little clouds that every now and then would give you a little bit of shade, and you wasn't in the sun all day. Well, it got up to 100 yesterday, 104 or something, but uh, you wasn't directly in the sun, and so I just stayed out there and kept working. I usually knock off about 12, but since it was a little bit cooler, I just stayed out there and kept working. Plus, most of the time I was in the shade of one of the porches, so it wasn't too bad. I still had to drink half a gallon of tea when I came in the house finally, but all right, Josh, thanks for coming by, brother. I got a while yet before I have to cook dinner. That's what I do most of the time, though. If I'm this time of year, I can't go on, uh, and I don't go on Chuck's show because when his show comes on is about the time I have to start cooking dinner. But in the wintertime, when my wife goes bowling on Wednesdays, then I'm free on Wednesday nights. Let's see what else is going on. Just an observation, and I know this is going to sound bad. It's going to sound racist, but I watch On Patrol Live, and I watch Cops Reloaded, and I watch Cops. And those are kind of reruns, okay? But the On Patrol Live is new every week. It's new and live and all that kind of stuff. And it's if you notice, if you keep up with stuff, you just kind of notice stuff. Almost every noise complaint, and I think it's mainly it's all over, but the ones that do it the most is, I believe it's in South Carolina. When they go to a noise complaint now, guess what you hear when they drive up? And the music's blaring. Hey, Victor, what's going on, brother? We're just rattling on. That's all we're doing. But when the cops have to go to a noise complaint and they drive up, guess what you hear? Mariachi music. And there's one poor old boy. Of course, they only put the cameras in a few cars, and then they head out. But here lately, this one poor old boy, every time he does a traffic stop, it's in this old boy in particular, and it's in South Carolina. Almost every time he does a traffic stop nowadays, walks up to the car, introduces himself, and there's Neil. How you doing, brother? He introduces himself. I'm Deputy Sheriff, da da da. And the reason I stopped you, you were speeding or this, that, and other. First words come out of the person's mouth: "No habla inglés." Do you got a license? No. No habla inglés. And it's such a high percentage of his stops that you can't help but notice nowadays. And of course, it's from the influx of immigrants from Mexico and down south. But yeah, it's just it's amazing how the stuff changes, And he's even went to the trouble. I swear to God, if I was in his shoes, I'd be taking Spanish lessons. Okay. But he's trying to be, I don't know if he's half-assing it or he thinks he's doing good or whatever. Anyhow, he got this little app on his phone, translation app. Okay, that's theoretically okay, but he whips it out and he's pressing buttons for 5 minutes, just trying to get the app to work or open or to do something, and it's like, dude, you're going to have to take Spanish. That's just all there is to it, Oh. Well, NorCal, I'll tell you the truth. Let's see. On the flavor, I can put it this way now. There are some one-shots I can leave alone. But they're the ones they're always recommended for, at least 12%, 15, 18%. I leave those alone. Those are fine, just at their recommended level. But that even 15% is a pretty high level, for some people that mix, because they'll be doing 3 and 5% of some shit and thing, and that don't work for me. I got to go at least 10, per flavoring, but. But I do have some one shots I can leave alone, but those are the ones that are at least 12 to 14 and higher recommended. And Victor, I don't know. I don't know about the abyss. I don't know. Somebody here might. I definitely don't. Where's my pen? There it is. And while you're here today, Victor, tell us just generally where you're at, if you don't mind. It's a little thing of mine. I like to know where people are where from. Well, that must be a borrow device if Neil's got one. Well, Neil is our borrow expert. See which one I picked up. You know, I want to say I heard somebody on a show mention that. Something about it. Okay. Nice looking little deal. If it's just side by side, I'm looking at. Oh, you're in Texas. All right. That's where I'm from originally, brother. Central Texas. So obviously you can understand everything I'm saying. Ooh, it's expensive little puppy. Nice looking though. Nice looking. Did you get one with the DNA chip? Now, is that one the one I was looking at? It looked like a side by side, but it had a tank, and it was reminiscent of the Sunbox, where it had like a plate that went over the top of the tank. Am I looking at the right one, Victor? Not the Sunbox, the Supbox, rather. If you use the Boro, you had a plate that went over the top. And I did have trouble with that grounding, connecting to the ground. It was just way too many pieces. I wish they'd move that. Well, that must be a. Oh, yeah, I'm still in line. Yeah, and see, you know, I hate some of those that they don't differentiate. Some of the mods don't, because you know, if you've got an open, okay, that's that's a route to pursue, a trail to go down. But if it says atomizer shorted, that's a different path. And the ones that just say check atomizer, you know, I wish they would, say a little more, because you need to know which path to start down, you know, uh, whether it's an open or a short. I've had more trouble with probably opens than I have shorts in my day. I mean, I've had short circuits, but I, I've had to chase down a whole lot of more open circuits than I have shorted ones. NorCal, it probably won't say, unless he probably had to take it off and put it on a different mod. Because most of them, they won't tell you shit. You click the button and it'll just say check atomizer. There's a couple of mine here. It pisses me off when I'm re-wicking or something, because that's usually when I'll change out the batteries. And if I've already taken the tank off, and I just want to click the damn button to see what the battery life is, and it won't tell me shit. It'll just say, "Oh, check atomizer." Well, that okay, but come on. I have a couple of them that do that. No, I don't own no Sputnik. Never even heard of that one. There's a lot of them over here. Well, you're in the U.S. The other day I was looking, and it's amazing that, like, that stigmata I bought. When I was looking at it, I noticed there was a whole bunch of RTAs that, unless you hunt and go out on the internet and actually hunt, you don't know nothing about them. If you're locked in to just watching the normal U.S. reviewers, you never know nothing about all these other tanks that are out there. Because they're basically nothing but they're all team free shit. And if somebody don't send them one, if they don't decide to release it in the U.S., they don't send them no freebies. Well, hell, we don't know nothing about it unless we go out and hunt, and look around. Well, now, Mongo, you're going to tell me how to do that, because you're going to have to walk me through that, because I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know how to translate a comment. If somebody leaves a comment in some other language, I can get Google to translate that for me. But as far as translating a whole review video, I don't know that I know how to do that. It's in it's in closed caption. So go to the closed caption and then tell it to translate, I guess. I'll have to try that next time. Because a lot of times, you can get by with just watching and just looking, because you just basically want to see the insides. You want to, see, because you can, people that know, you can see if somebody's, having a hard time getting a coil in, or the wicking situation, what it's going to be like. All right, NorCal, thanks for coming by, brother. We'll think about you. So hopefully it's air conditioned in that room where the electronic cabinets are. was I looking up? Let's see here. Let's see what that thing looks like. Where is it? There it is. Oop. Looking at it and still spelt it wrong. Oh, that's kind of old. Looks like Net Vapor did a review on it. So I'm assuming it's a MTL tank. You know, I think I remember seeing something. Now that I see these air discs, I think I remember seeing this reviewed by somebody. Oh, come on. Hmm. It looks like kind of like a little bit of an old school deck. Of course, nothing wrong with that because the dwarves prove that. Nothing wrong with that. I'd have to go back and watch since Net Vapor did a review on it. I'd go back and watch his review if I was thinking about it. But I do remember those air discs. I remember seeing that somewhere a long time ago. What happened here? Come on. There you go. Yeah. There's Neil. He's our resident Boro specialist, I guarantee you. Neil, did you watch ST's live last night? I didn't participate in the chat. I didn't even have the chat pulled up. So I don't know if you were there or not, but did you watch his? Did you watch the live last night with Mr. Ginger on it? $100 limit. I think my limit on just a mod only, is about $50. That's my limit. You know, now I will go maybe 60, maybe 70 on an AIO that comes with some tanks and whatnot. You know, I might bump up 60 or 70, but yeah, just a straight mod is about 50 is about my limit. Yeah, tank is 35 the normal cutoff. I would go to 40, but you know, on an original, on authentic, you know. Yeah, 40 authentic, period. Otherwise, nope, waiting on the clone, waiting on the clone. And I know, that's why most of these, the famous reviewers don't like me. Because I'll do a clone in a heartbeat and tell you how good it is and tell you how much money you've saved. Or tell you you can have 5 of these. Look, you can have 5 sitting on your shelf for the price of 1. And they vape just as good. So yeah, they don't like me saying that shit. But that's the whole point. That was the whole point of this channel from day one, was to get the best vape you could get for the least amount of money. And I had a guy make a comment on an old video just the other day, made me feel good. It was on the old K-Fun-X, the K-Fun-X video. He said he was having the flooding issue when he would refill it. And, I did the little update where I showed turn it upside down before you close the juice flow off. He said that completely cured his problem. And he was just happy as he could be. And, nobody else that did reviews on it, mentioned that or said anything about it, and, but he was just happy as he could be. It made me feel good because, I like helping people. I'd rather do that than, be team free shit. Yeah, me and you are on the same thought process on that, Neil. I hadn't liked, and it's not the DNA chips I don't like. I mean, they're probably fantastic. It's the person that owns the company that I don't like. It's nothing to do with the performance of the chip, anything like that. I vaguely remember that Tesla name, Victor, but I don't even recall what the hell it looked like. There was what was it? I was thinking the other day that I needed, if I ran across a good dual battery mod, I don't care if it's 18650 or 21700, I might pick one up. But I hadn't got around to it. That's my criteria at the moment. Is on a mod is a regular mod, cheap price, and dual battery. Don't care which. Can be either one. I got plenty of both. I don't wag them around. So it's all that is irrelevant to me. I just don't want to have to change the battery every day. And dual 18650s for the low wattage I vape at, the 18650s work for me. My deal with what the hell was his name? Adrian, the guy, the one. There was two guys. One you never saw. One was the one in front of the camera. What the hell was his name? I don't remember it now. The last time I saw him, they were promoting their little Cigalite thing. On Phil and Dimitri were dick riding him, and he was promoting his little new Cigalite thing that was 20 times more expensive than it was fucking worth. And needless to say, it didn't do worth a shit. Imagine that. What the hell was his name? I don't remember it now. Anyhow, yeah, I just had a problem with him. That was all. You know, he just, you know, came across a little too highfalutin for me, I guess. And I'll give you an example. On that little pod thing they came out with, okay? If I remember right, you could only buy the replacement pods or whatever the hell it was the damn little thing took. You could only buy it from them. From them. And it's like, you can't do business like this. Not on something like that. Yeah, okay, if you got $1,000 custom made mod and you just want to be the one that sells them, okay, what few you're going to sell, you might sell some. But the little throwaway things, you can't do that. It reminded me he reminded me a lot of, what's his name? The Apple guy, Steve Jobs, back in the day. Closed source code, everything fucking top secret, and if y'all as old as I am, you remember back in the day, most people didn't buy an Apple computer for the phone because they didn't have no damn apps because they were so secretive. You buy a PC, shit, you got apps for free, apps for days, uh, but he reminded me of him a little bit. Just I don't know. Never met the man in real life, but over the video, I just didn't care for him. Didn't care for him. Yeah, Neil, I think that was one that had caught my eye the other day. And there was one somebody came out with. I don't think it was a C frame, or I don't think it was. It might have been. It was old style, square, fake wood look to it, but it wasn't a fake stab wood deal. It just, had wood around the outside, fake wood, just for old folks, you know. Oh, and I remember now that I've thought about it, Brandon, I think that was his name. What really burnt me on him the most was way, way back in the day. He was the one that had the first adjustable wattage device and was promoting it like it was God's gift. And it's like, well, wait a minute, guy. Now, most of these people out here probably don't understand electronics, but come on now. Okay, if just because you change the wattage on your screen, what does the mod actually do? The chipset, what does it actually physically do? Guess what? It ups the fucking voltage. Gee, you know, You ain't reinvented white bread, son. I'm sorry. You pull the wool over everybody's eyes. And I got into a lot of trouble with this, trying to pull the, get them to take the goddamn red pill. I got in a lot of trouble with that. But hey, you know. All right, Victor. Thanks for coming by, brother. You're welcome anytime. But yeah, it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. All that's really happening is you're you know, you just it's just changing the voltage, going to the cool. That's in reality, that's what's happening. And I just, I like to say I got into a lot of trouble, because I wouldn't ride his dick like everybody else. But hey, you do you. And I have gotten into a little bit of trouble, but I kind of quit saying anything to a degree, because I could see I was in the minority. But I got into a little bit of trouble talking shit about the 3D printed stuff. I'm sorry. It's to me, because I guess maybe because I have worked at a real machine shop for several years. I was a machinist apprentice, and I hadn't lately, but I do stabilize my own wood for my custom made pens, so I understand, how all that works and everything. And to me, an aluminum or a hybrid or even a full stabilized wood mod, okay. To me, even the aluminum one, like if you take an original billet box and theoretically it was carved out of a piece of billet aluminum, to me that just is a higher precision, and especially back in the day before everybody got 5-axis CNC machines, just took a little more skill, than having a 3D printer print everything for you. That to me, it's okay, but it shouldn't be priced, to me, comparably to their, it just shouldn't be priced comparably. I mean, they got they're fine. If you want a plastic mod, okay, but that's, but yeah, I got in trouble saying that too. But I could see that. And at one time, I entertained buying a 3D printer until I did a lot of research on it. And that was, oh my, you talk about a rabbit hole now. Woo! That was a rabbit hole. And I never found a legitimate use or reason to own one, I guess you might say. So I never did buy one, but I did do a lot of research, on it and everything, all the, stuff, bells and whistles. But I just never could justify buying one. There's some people think shit they can't live without them, and lived without them for quite a while. And that's like people that I buy these, like up at my uh, farmer's market I sell at on Saturday. I sell the wooden items I have at the moment are custom pins and uh, decorative wooden mason jar lids for mason jars. But they're made totally, on a lathe with me holding the tool. I don't punch a button and walk the fuck off. I'm sitting there taking wood out and making this, shaping that. You know, I didn't just punch a goddamn button and walk away. And it seems like I've seen a lot of these style deals because one of the popular things over here right now is an X carve, and basically it's a CNC mill for wood. And you can download these little patterns and you just put your wood, it's flat wood. It all works. It doesn't work on round shit. It's just flat wood, and you punch a button and you fucking walk off. Ain't no skill involved there. Come on. And the people that are trying to sell that shit, trying to get the same price as for something of mine, of course they're not getting it, but there's a lot of them trying to sell that kind of stuff, because they done went out and bought this machine, and all of a sudden they're a woodwork worker, and it's like, no. If you want to make something like that and you want to impress me, you get you a blank sheet of a board and a router table, and you hand do that shit. That'll impress me. But punch a button and walk off, I'm sorry. Doesn't impress me. You might as well be getting the shit made in China. Seriously, And like I say, they normally they think they're going to get rich. They don't watch some YouTube video or something, and they run out and buy this expensive as hell little wood mill, and ends up they don't shit don't sell like they thought it was going to. In fact, I don't know if I've ever, hold on a second. I might do this relatively fast. Oh, yeah. Let me flip the light around. Show you a couple of the custom pins that I make. Light on. Our camera will work for us today. You gonna focus for me? It's gonna try to. Hold on. Give it something to focus on. Maybe it'll stay. There we go. All right. Yeah. Got it zoomed out. Zoomed in too much. There's one of the wooden pins that I make. It's a twist. And here is one of the epoxy resin ones that I make, and I have to actually, if you've noticed, this is a pretty fat pin. I have to actually pour the resin for these. myself to get a big enough uh, blank to start with. That one's blue. So real pretty out in the sunlight, but as then you can kind of see through it. It's translucent to a degree, and it has some mica powder in the resin. But those, you know, you don't just turn your damn machine on and walk away. You make the damn thing. Neil, I did a one drip tip, one long time ago. And the only reason I did it was out of necessity, because this was so long ago. This was before you had 510 to 810 adapters, and you had, you could adapt them anyway and all this bullshit. This was before all that. And I had gotten, I think it was I believe it was an RTA. I don't think it was an RDA. I think it was still an RTA, I think. And, but it had a big drip tip, and like I say, this was back way before, you could buy all that bullshit. And I made one drip tip that would fit. It was a mouth-alone style drip tip, a 510 style, but had the bigger deal on it, so it would fit in the tank. And but I did make one long time ago. But you got to realize, because making the tip, the drip tip itself wasn't that bad, because you got to realize everything on mine, I'm holding the tools. Regardless of what the tool is doing, I'm holding on to it. Okay? And the hardest part wasn't making the drip tip. Okay? That wasn't too different than anything else. The actual hardest part was cutting the notches for the O-rings and getting them the right size and right depth consistently. Because, like I say, I'm holding on to the tool. It's the machine's not doing it. I'm the one, totally by how much I move my hand, what depth I'm getting in, width, and all that kind of stuff. That was actually the hardest part of making it. It wasn't hard to make the actual tip, but it was cutting the grooves for the O-rings was the hardest part to it. But I did do one, but it was out of necessity, and it was many years ago. And I didn't even, let me see if I can find it. Nope. Here it is. This was what was this thing? Clone of something. I don't remember. Y'all will have to refresh my memory. It's like I don't remember now what the hell this is. It's kind of like similar to an RDTA. kind of, sort of. Put it on the up close. I don't even remember what the hell the name of this thing was. And now I didn't spend a lot of time polishing this one either. So there it is. It's like a blue with a little bit of red in the resin. And I think I actually made it out of a piece of scrap. And you can see it's not polished down here. But yeah, that's what it had to fit. And this was the tank. And like I say, I don't even remember what the hell this thing was called, but it's a dual velocity deck way up at the top, and your wicks ran down into your juice down here. So it was kind of like an RDTA to a degree, and then it was kind of like a dripper to a degree, because your air adjustment's right here, and you turn this big plastic cap, and theoretically, hell, I don't, where is it? There it is. What's something? Oh, there's an O-ring. Looks like there's an O-ring stuck in the air deal. But anyhow, you had these cutouts, and you turned them to adjust your air, and the air went straight in to your cool. These, I said like that. That shouldn't be like that. I don't know. It's been forever since I even messed with this thing. Oh, there's my slot. Now what the? Oh, that's the field. That's how you filled the tank. You pulled up on that, and it filled the tank. So I bet here's the problem. This needs to be like flipped over. There we go. Now we're cooking with grease. I'm half-ass tempted to put some big coals in this damn thing and give it a try. Let me see. Yeah, let's see. You couldn't really. Oh, yeah, the fill deal. This all pulled up. There you go. That's how you filled it. You pulled up on all this shit, and you could fill your tank. There's a little. Can you see it? Little fill indicator. I'm half tempted to put a couple of hellacious coils in this and just see what the hell. See if it'll vape, because you can see this was way back in the day. Two little bitty, looks like little 2 millimeter round wire coils. But I guess you might even could call this a semi-genesis device, because if you didn't run your wicks way down in here, you'd have to tilt it ever so often to get it to wick. Retro vaping. Good God Almighty. Yeah, I don't even remember what the hell that damn thing was called. Get my chat back up. So Neil, I guess you're still doing the ones with the sliding glass doors. Yeah, Adrian, I really need to. I'd have to look up to see what the hell that damn thing was. don't remember. But I can tell you, with those two little pissy coils in there, what gonna make worth a damn. But you know, back in the day, I mean, that was some kind of morphodite damn thing. I guess you would call it an RDTA nowadays, or a Genesis hybrid, or some shit like that. I don't know. And what possessed me, we didn't know any better back in the day. Hello, Dog Days. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping by. We just reminiscing here, trying to figure out what the hell, trying to figure out what the hell the name of this old ass old tank was. I do not remember. I would assume I did a video on it, but I'd have to go back, dig through, and see. But yeah, we might have to look this up and see, because believe it or not, the O-rings still feel good. They feel nice and whatnot. And it's got quite a bit of airflow. The only you'd be a little bit limited. I'd say maybe 2.5 ID coils, because the juice channels are a little small. I don't know if it support a 3mm ID coil or not. But we might just have to do that. Have us a retro vape on that old thing. But anyhow, I did make a drip tip. That was the one I made way back when. Never made another one. But that, like I say, that was before. And I don't know that, because now, let's see, I don't think it. No, that's not an adapter. I'm not 100% sure. That might have been, hell, that might have been way back before 810. 810 drip tips were a standard thing. I think I could get an 810 adapter in it now. Like I say, this was before then. You didn't just buy a handful of them damn things from Fast Tech back in them days. Of course, if it ain't wicking, I guess you could use it as a dripper, because the top comes off pretty easy. You could drip the hell out of some juice if you needed to. It just pops right off. Huh. Yep. We may have to throw some coils in that and give it a try. No, there ain't no name, Adrian. I'm sure it was a clone. There ain't nothing on the bottom of it. And, you know, that might have been, shit, that might have been so long back, it was before I started doing reviews, to be honest with you. But it looks well made. we may have to give it a try. And, it's not going to flood unless you uh, turn it upside down. We may have to try that. I bet with a couple of decent coils in there, vape pretty good. Looks like our internet's keeping up with us today. By my little readout down here, it looks better today than it has in months. No, Neil, they finally gave me a store credit. I told them, I didn't really care. Store credit, refund my card. It didn't matter because, I was still going to buy stuff from them. Get this shine off my old bald head. There we go. It's a little better. They gave me a store credit, and I've already spent it. You weren't here, but I ordered one of the newer style dwarves, a clone, of course. Supposedly it's MTL, but it comes with 11 air pins, and that was what sold me that in the price. It was $19. Because I drug my original dwarf down the other day and built it and put a decent coil in it, and the damn thing vapes good. I'm going, why in the hell is it sitting on the shelf? But I did want the newer one because it's a little easier to put the coil in, got the little ears, all that kind of stuff. And then just a slew of air pin, 11 air pin adjusters you get with this one, and hell, for $19, seemed like a bargain. But that one, and I also ordered the new, you might have saw it, they just, I just got the email about it, the new Innova clone 3F's got. And I ordered it. It's a pre-order. It's 2 weeks out at the moment. So I ordered it, and I ordered a new dwarf clone. Spent my store credit. Like I really needed. Same way with that Alberts too. Did I really need it? Do I really need another tank? Hell no. Yeah, I got the 24 because I just wanted. It's supposed to hold with the extension that comes with it. Hell, it's supposed to hold like 6 mils of juice. But I got the 24. So I just prefer that number over 22s, and most of the stuff I got, 24 works fine. I don't think I don't really have anything that has to have a 22. I don't think. Well, I take it back. These little Picos, which I don't use anymore, they have to have a small deal on it. And the little one I take out in the garage, my beater, beat to hell. It's still working. Barely can read the readout, but it's still working. And believe it or not, I was discussing this with a guy in comments on one of the videos the other day. We were talking about the heat, air temperature. Hell, it gets so hot out in my garage. By the time I come in, you pick this up, it's hot. It's hot to the touch. And this little K-Fun Mini hadn't flooded a bit. It doesn't care, and this old Pico mod don't care. It don't give you no heating error or nothing like that. It just keeps right on vaping. Even though it's actually hot to the touch just from sitting out in a 120-degree garage. But it works just fine. This is the only thing I got. It has to have a smaller tank. Everything else will do 24s or bigger. No, I don't have one of those, Neil. I skipped that version. I went from the Prime to the X. I skipped that. Now, if I wouldn't mind having one of uh, the newer models of those, the one with the metal air pin, the metal adjusting air pin with the O-rings on it. I forget what version they call that out to be, but I think it comes standard on any of them they buy nowadays. But the very first ones didn't have that. But you know, I mean, unless you can do the squared, not the is it yeah the squared or the 5, you know, it's the decks are almost totally identical, and as far as size goes, they're identical. Till you get in the ones that's got the little bigger decks. But I skipped that one as far as when they came out, buying a new one. I skipped the light, 2019 light. I went from the Prime to the X. Yeah, you got the good one then. You got the one with the metal airflow pin. Yeah, those don't leak. I got in trouble for that too. We were talking about me getting in trouble earlier. You know, when they very first come out with those, it was the same airflow pin they'd had for years, and you know, I had come up with a fix for my little K-Fun Mini. You know, I'd fixed that so it didn't puke into my mod anymore, all on my own. Some people just wrap Teflon tape around it, but I found that didn't work as good as putting a big O-ring down in the bottom. You know, and when they very first come out with that 2019, it was just I think it was a little nylon screw instead of a stainless steel screw, but they didn't conflict the threads. You know, they didn't make the threads to where they conflicted, so that they were a little bit, you know, tight and hard to turn, so the damn thing would seal. You know, and I said, well, that's just going to leak out the bottom. Oh, you know, the K-Fun fanboys jumped on me like a pack of wild dogs. You know, and then sure enough, well, now we got this new and improved model. They didn't leak. They didn't leak, but these are better with the metal screw and all fucking O-rings. You know, these are better, but these other ones didn't leak. Okay. I'll have to look at you talking about that one we were showing a while ago, Adrian. I'll have to see if I did a video on it. I don't know if I did or not. I don't think I did. But yeah, it was. I don't have a clue, and that thing has got to be. It's got to be 10 years old, I would say. But yeah, Neil, that was the reason I went. I bought I got the Prime because it was a total different, like redesign on the airflow. That was the reason I went ahead and got it. Because, you know, the other deal just, you know, I mean, there was ways, you know, fix it, but shit, you know, should have been designed better to begin with. The way I look at that. But yeah, I got in trouble for that. Telling people that their little nylon adjusting screw was gonna seep You call it seed, call it a leak, call it whatever you want. But if it lets juice get down into your mod, because it's straight out to 510 holes, positive deals where it was leaking. But I'm sorry, I don't want juice coming out of my 510 pen. Call me particular if you want. What surprised me about that whole 2019 thing was, a lot of people mentioned it. They did mention it, but they got away with the bottom fill. They went like back in time. I'm talking about the factory one now, and I'm not talking about the, if you bought add-ons for it. But they actually went back in time and went back to bottom fill and got away with it. That just kind of blew my mind. I never did see any of them strip out, Neil. Of course, I never had one. I never heard, I personally never talked with anybody that had that problem. But I can see it happening. I can see it happening. I can see it more, not the threads on it stripping, but where you're trying to get your Allen or your screwdriver. I can see that stripping. But that was their attempt to try to fix the leak that their metal screw caused. But that didn't leak to start with. Now, remember, they didn't leak. I said this last week. I'm going to repeat it again because I got such a kick out of it. But Grim Green's latest Caliburn picture or video, those new little Caliburn things. He took that one out that had the cracked top, and it had puked all over his shit. I laughed my ass off. It is little, it had puked. The one with the little cracked top, it had puked. But they don't leak. Okay. I didn't leak, it fucking puked. At least he was stand up and he called him out on it and didn't hide it. So he also didn't really call him out, but at least he showed it on that new little Anakin thing, that Go Z deal. The one he had, the top slide deal fucked up on it. And, he showed it in the video. So I haven't had any trouble with ones. I've got a bunch of the Anakins where the top slides, and I've had no trouble out of any of mine. The Aries, and my wife's got one of the slides now. I've got another one up on the shelf. That's all she uses. Hadn't had a minute's trouble out of them, and she's had hers for at least a year now or more. Hadn't had any trouble. But he did show it. His was flopping like a broke dick, and he did show it on the video. But yeah, Neil, we got a couple of little tanks coming in. Of course, nothing mind-boggling about that dwarf. Uh, but uh, the Innova, I just hope it's it's a little. I said this earlier. It's a little over-engineered. You might say lots of moving pieces. And anytime you get that, if you go the clone route, you're rolling the dice. So we'll see. Yeah, they came with if I remember right, either the original Aries came with a. I think even these Aries too. They come with new seals for the top where the little slide mechanism works. Uh, I'm thinking they did. They came with new seals in the spare pack. I had mine still works, you know, fairly decent. My original Aries. I mean, you can't do a mouth to lung on it because it had that fucked up uh, airflow adjuster that never did really work. Wouldn't cut down enough for MTL, but it works real good for RDL. And hell, this one I'm running now, this Aries 2 that I'm running it with the air wide open and the little thing under the coil wide open. You might be right, Adrian, because I think I remember. Yeah, this Aries 2 has the two little screws on top that you take out, and then you can take the top completely off. Now that I remember correctly. Well, Neil, have you got one of those Jenna clones from 3F? Did you get one of those RBAs? You might want to try one of those. They're real cheap. They should still have them on 3F. But it was, Jay Hayes' little RBA he designed, and I got one, and it worked. As far as vaping, it worked fine. Of course, it puked in my billet box just like every RBA I have. Eventually, they call it condensation, but it didn't leak no more. It didn't leak no less. Than every other RBA I have. It didn't come with airflow pins. I'm trying to remember now. I don't. It's up there somewhere. Yeah, I think it only came with one. I think. Adrian, I've heard that rumor for weeks now. Have you actually seen one in real life or seen a picture of one? Because I've heard that rumor. But Neil, the reason I brought that up, Neil, was the airflow on it, the way it hits the coil is kind of unique, I guess you would say. It's different than the way the airflow works on most of the RBAs. And like I say, it vaped okay for me as far as the vape goes. But the airflow on it. See, I fast forward through a lot of his. I fast forward last night. I was waiting on him. I wanted him to, show something, but he never really. He didn't have anything new or whatnot. So I must have missed that part. I did watch most of it, but I've heard this. I mean, I've heard the rumor, but I've yet to see a picture. But you can bet money if it's a K Fund, in 2 weeks they'll have the clone. It'll take about 2 weeks because they don't. When it says K Fund, buddy, they clone that shit quick. Well, that's good, Dog Days. Like I say, the reason, if you remember, the reason I bought that one was because the design of the pod was the reason I went with that one. The design of the pod. It had a rubber plug, and it would last till you broke it or ripped the plug off or whatnot. But it wasn't going to start leaking after you refilled it a dozen times, like cracked fill tops do. That was the reason I went with that one. Because I love those the one on coils is my favorite coil from them. And I like to say, I use their coil, the Caliburn coils in my EVO at the moment for my little go to town pod. But it's getting old, so I knew I should get something and set it on the shelf for, when that one died. And guess what? Where did I see it? I might have been on Twitter. I think it was Twitter. Yeah, new EVO. Looked like it still took the same coils, because its coils and Caliburn coils, G coils would swap, or even the G2 I think would swap out. And it got to where you couldn't hardly buy the little EVO anymore anywhere, and so now they come out with a new one. After I go and buy this damn Caliburn, I mean, I'd have just soon had the little EVO. Mine worked fantastically, for years now. But yeah, the little iron fist should be just, should be good. I liked them because they had a metal body. I didn't like the fact that the pod hung off the side, but if you drop it wrong, it's going to break. Of course, my little EVO is all plastic. The whole the whole 9 yards is plastic. I ain't broke it yet. Of course, I don't. Now, if I'd have given it to my wife, shit had been broke within the first 3 days. But, I've had the little all plastic EVO for years. Never broke it. But I do like aluminum ones, when everything's aluminum. Hell, if I could have got if that EVO pod would have went in the Coco, I'd have shoved it in there and, used up the rest of the battery in the Coco. But you couldn't, they wouldn't interchange. Well, now, Neil, the ones I vape, the 1-ohms are round wire. They're not mesh. The ones I really like, the ones I enjoy the most, are round wire. Of course, I could rebuild them too if I really wanted to. It would actually be probably easier than the mesh. As you know, me and you went through all that. We went down the rabbit hole of rebuilding uh, replaceable coils and sub-ohm coils and all that good stuff. I even went to the trouble of making, you know, little tools to do it with, make it easier and all. And ain't done one in shit, I don't know how long now. But I didn't ever tear one apart of the ones I liked and measured the wire. I think it's Canthal. I think I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's the 1 ohm, and I think it's Canthal. But I know for a fact it's round wire. It's the only one they make that's round wire. All right, Adrian, we're fitting to call this to a put an end to this anyhow. We done rattled on for 2 hours. And Neil, I can't believe you're looking for more of them. It's from the box you got from Fastech should have lasted you the rest of your life, man. Where was it I saw that? I saw those somewhere. I don't know what on there were, but there was one of those websites I was searching the other day when I was looking for alternate uh, sources. There was one that had those kits like we used to. It wasn't the same company that we used to get them off of Fastech, but it was it's some other brand, but it was same thing, mesh cotton, you know whatnot. I don't remember now what side it was. I just remember seeing them. Well, with that being said, I do think we're going to call it quits for today. We have rambled on long enough. Yeah, I remember seeing it wasn't that name, Neil. It wasn't one of the there was like I think Festech had like 3 different brands. And it wasn't any of them. It was a brand I had never seen or heard of. Uh, of course, who knows if it all could be coming from the exact same place. But it was a brand. The brand name was one I had never heard of. It wasn't one that Fastech used to offer. Yeah, dog days. Now this, like I say, it's round wire, so it's a completely different vape uh, than the mesh. Because I can do the point 0.8 and I think I've done the 1.2 before too. But for me, the reason I prefer it is it gives me there's a particular juice that I run in my little pod deal, and the round wire, the little 1 ohm round wire coils gives me a better flavor than any of the rest. That's the reason I prefer them. But like I say, it's a taste thing, and it's one particular juice. Now, if I put just a fruity juice, flavored juice, the 0.8s work just fine. It's this one particular juice that I like, that the one on round wire, to me, gives me the flavor I'm wanting. Put it that way. It's a real picky thing, but it's a total different animal, total different vape than one of the mesh coils, because it's just a vertical round wire coil. But it's really juice dependent for me. Almost any other juice I got, it will, any of the other mesh coils will work with. But this one particular flavor, it's Shinray's mango sticky rice is the flavor, and to me it tastes better in with the little Caliburn one-ohm coils than it does in anything else I got. Any tank, RTA, or replaceable coil thing. For me, it tastes better just like that than in anything else I got. But it's just that one particular flavor. And I know it don't make no sense. I realize that. But just be aware, it's a different animal because it's round wire. It's not mesh. And eventually they're going to probably quit making them, I'd say. I try to stock up every now and then. I'll buy an extra box if I do an order, and I can sneak a box of those in there without increasing the shipping or anything wonky. I'll throw an extra box in there of those. But anyhow, I think we're going to call it quits today, folks. Thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks for participating in chat. Thanks for watching. If you were just watching and not participating in chat, that's fine too. I do that a lot myself. Thanks for everybody that's watching or has watched the replay. And always remember, you can comment on the replays just like you can any of my normal reviews. More than welcome, as long as you're not a troll. If you're a troll, you're going to get booted. So anyhow, thanks everybody for showing up, coming in, and have a good night or a good afternoon or a good morning, depending on where you're at. And I see no reason we can't have another show next week, since our internet did so well today. I can't believe it, how good it did. So same bat time, same bat channel. Till then, we'll see you later.